have my girlfriend, my former client, senior brand marketer in beauty,
Yeah.
Teneya Gholston from. How you
So
doing,
excited to
Tanita?
be here with you today, Michelle.
I am I'm so happy to see you, Tania. You know what? We go a long way back.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
And I
Lots
say,
of years, lots of history.
yeah, I say you really get to know somebody when you've been working in the trenches together.
Yes, that's the best way. You know who you can count on
Yes.
and who you can't.
And we had a really good time because we were specifically focused on one particular brand, and
Yes.
that was Cream of Nature. We did some work on some other brands, but nothing else really mattered.
Cream of Nature was always the hero brand. That was the one that we were counting on to make
Right,
it.
right. Well, you know what? Why don't we have a culture soup moment? Are you ready?
Yes, I am
Okay.
ready. I've been excited this whole day
Yay.
today. I'm talking to Michelle. I'm like, don't come in my office when I'm on with her.
I love
Okay,
it.
it's
I love it.
important.
I love it. I love it. Well, our culture soup moment. I want to go all the way back to like 2006, 2007 when this one hashtag became the thing. And it wasn't just because people were yapping it up on Twitter. It was because black women were having somewhat of a renaissance when it came to their hair.
Yes.
And it's hashtag Team Natural. You remember that?
Yes. Yes. And it's still going
It
today,
is. Of
believe it
course
or
it is.
not.
It is. And I had this conversation with Miko Branch,
Okay.
maybe about, oh gosh, it's in the early part of the year with the show. And we were talking about how that hashtag catapulted her brand, Miss Jessie's, all the way into Target. But it did some
Yeah.
things for Cream of Nature too, because when I first started, and it was my agency, just so everybody knows, my agency was agency of record for Cream of Nature and some other multicultural brands in the Collimer business, which got bought by Revlon. Just so
Yes.
you know. Okay.
That's
And
the
so,
history.
yeah. And so, what state was Cream of Nature in when we came on?
Oh my goodness. So, around that time, Cream of Nature, it was still a household brand, but it was starting to lose traction
Mm-hmm.
because when we did the market research, consumers were saying, this feels like my grandmother's brand. So
Yeah.
I know you remember that. They were just like,
Mm-hmm.
it feels a little old. It was something that was used on me as a child, and it was just starting to lose traction in the market. Um, it wasn't in demand for the
Yeah.
consumer.
And back then it was only a handful of SKUs. Most people just knew it for the shampoo and combination conditioner,
Yes, yes.
right?
That was the bread and butter of Cream of Nature was that shampoo and conditioner. Everybody knew that it was going to be the best detangling formula in the market, but we were losing consumers to other brands because
Mm-hmm.
when they went to style their hair, they weren't staying with Cream of Nature. They were jumping over to another brand, and nobody wants that. You want your consumer to be loyal to you from, shampoo all the way through styling. So we were just missing that opportunity to keep her with Cream of Nature from start to finish.
Yeah, and I remember I got to shout out Sean Tollerson, who
Yes,
was,
yes.
yes, the VP of marketing at the time, who was guiding the ship. But I remember those dusty bottles. They were
Oh,
on the shelves
yes.
way
Oh,
down in the
goodness. Whew.
bottom rack. You remember this?
Oh, yeah. You're
All the
bringing
way
back
back.
memories.
And some of those bottles had been there since our grandmama used it on our hair, right?
Exactly. Because they were the ones that were in my mother's closet,
Yes.
at home in DC at the time. I'm like, Mom, you still have those bottles?
Yes.
Yes, she did.
But
So
look, you raised a good point. Everybody really still believed in what it could do. And
they
it was
did.
about the detangling, and I could smell it right now. It
Oh,
had that
yeah.
specific smell, and
It had a
everybody
specific
liked it.
fragrance. Yeah,
Yeah.
and even when we started to elevate the brand and
Hmm.
kind of move it forward, I remember all of the calls and the
Oh, yeah.
letters from the people that were upset
We had a
because
whole strategy around that.
the people that loved it, they loved it. And it took time to transition.
Hmm.
Like it wasn't like automatically people were in love with the new look and
Right.
the new fragrance, to your point. For years, especially men, a lot of men use that shampoo and conditioner because their mom used it or
Right.
their wife used it. And they were like, okay, that's my shampoo and conditioner. I remember, I mean, years after the brand transitioned, men would come up to me looking for the white bottles,
Yeah.
the infamous white bottle
Yes.
of Cream of Nature.
With the red
It
writing.
was like, yeah, yes. It was the red, there was blue, and there was green.
Yes.
And it took some time to just kind of transition that consumer. So yeah, those were some fun days.
Yeah.
Fun days for sure.
Well, and the reason why I brought up Team Natural, the hashtag, while all that conversation was going on, we had natural bloggers and video bloggers that would come on and do how-tos on how to do your natural hair. And at the time, Cream of Nature had this wonderful shampoo and conditioner all in one that was collecting dust, but people still loved it. Not trying to let go of it, that's for sure. But you had a relaxer too that wasn't getting a lot of traction.
No. Yeah, I mean, Cream of Nature had a relaxer, but it was always a hair care brand.
Right.
You know, it was really ahead of its time. I mean, even in the name, Cream of Nature.
Right.
Even though, back then everyone was kind of relaxed and we were all wearing our hair straight, when everything transitioned and started to shift to natural ingredients, it was like, okay, Cream of Nature already has natural ingredients.
Right.
The original formulas were based on natural ingredients. So it was really ahead of its time, but never a big relaxer brand, but women who relax definitely used the brand and associated the brand with relaxed hair.
Right. So where did the insight come from when you realized that this natural phenomenon was happening, but people were needing things to style their hair?
Oh my goodness. I wish I could tell you there was like a moment. I think it just hit us all in one. I wish I could say we had a light bulb moment, and we just kind of knew. But honestly, it was just something that was happening. And I think it was something that we were watching. And I remember doing a photo shoot actually for our new collection. So at the time, it was probably around 2010. And you'll remember we were doing a photo shoot for Cream of Nature with argan oil.
Right.
And we were bringing new and relevant styling products into Cream of Nature. So there was a combination of hair care. And at the time we had a few stylers. So, I mean, maybe 5 products. But when we did that shoot, I would say 95% of the women were relaxed.
Yeah.
And I remember during the casting call, we had a young lady come in with this big, huge natural hair. And I remember just looking at her and thinking like, oh my gosh, her hair is amazing.
Yeah.
But we didn't necessarily have a place for her, in the casting. She wasn't, on the mood board. But her hair was amazing. We were talking to her about her hair, why she chose to be natural, and she had a great story. And we cast her. And she literally had, I think, one look, because we, of course, had all of these other women that we had planned to shoot. So she nailed the shot. It ended up being like one of the hero images for the campaign. And I think just with that momentum and just seeing the reaction from women when her picture was in Essence and when she was up on billboards, that's how we knew.
Yeah.
That's how you were like, okay, this natural movement, it's real.
You mentioned something that was key too that I don't want to gloss over, because we went through a restage first.
Yes.
And then you guys introduced the argan oil. That was the game changer.
Yes.
And it was a whole new line that came from that. And you mentioned the 5 SKUs. And I don't know if it was Africa. Who was the model?
It was Africa.
It was Africa. I thought Miranda. So. Africa Miranda, who has blown slap up since then.
Right. We love Africa. I mean, she's a friend of the brand, and she's done everything. She's been in countless campaigns. She's been a brand ambassador. We love her.
Yeah.
And that was a major launch for the brand, because at that time, like I said, the brand had relaunched the shampoos and conditioners and moved to, just a more relevant kind of feel. And so people were like, okay, Cream of Nature, let's see what you guys are doing. But we still didn't have styling products at that time. So again, she still couldn't finish her hair. And so we said, we have to have styling. And we were able to convince, the powers that be, executive board members at the time, that let's just do a tight range, small
Mm-hmm.
range of styling products, and let's kind of just see how it goes. That's
Yeah.
what we were thinking. And at the time, we worked together and we launched argan oil. And I mean, I had no clue. I was still very young in my career at that time. I was a brand manager when we were working on this launch, and we
Yeah.
just put everything we had into it. I mean, even with your team, you guys put everything that you had, and it took off, and it became an overnight success.
Oh my gosh. Do you remember
Yeah.
getting the first Essence Award?
Oh my goodness. Of course. It was like, I mean, it was and still is gold because it was just so unexpected. Like the
Yeah.
response and the feedback on the products and the performance and the imagery for the brand. I mean, it was really the moment that catapulted my career forward. And I
Yeah.
tell everybody, like at that time, it was like 2010.
Yeah.
Cream of Nature, in terms of just like ranking for multicultural brands, we were ranked like number 26 at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Today, we're number 4.
Woo!
So, I mean,
That's
that
awesome.
launch was
Listen, I
just
gotta tell the
foundation.
listeners, y'all gotta understand, this was like birthing a baby.
Who you telling?
It
Who
was
you
like
telling?
birthing a baby. We literally
Yes.
were sending belly dancers. You
Yes.
remember? We sent
Yes.
belly dancers to the media with
We
these
did.
little finger symbols
Yes, yes.
because it
Like,
was
okay,
Moroccan.
okay.
You know,
Moroccan theme and
yes,
those were the days
it
because I
was
mean
dope.
we didn't just send one gift.
No,
Like we would send multiple gifts. Like
yes,
you would get a teaser that something was coming and then maybe
yes.
you got something else from with a taste of
Wait,
Morocco. And then yes, I remember
I
your
got
team, you
something for
sent
you.
belly dancers
I got something
into
for you. I'm
Essence.
gonna show them
So
to you. Look, you see them?
no, let's see. Look at that. Oh yes,
Finger
I remember
symbols.
those. And I remember, I think it was one of the editors, she even took the video, and she was
Yes,
doing the belly dancing. And
yes.
I mean, it
That
was
was
just
in
an
essence.
amazing moment.
I was
It was
like,
an
how
amazing
did we get
moment.
the Essence editor to belly dance?
Well, and part of it was the ingredient story. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
argan oil was starting to take off at that time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we were the first multicultural hair care
Yes, you
brand
were.
to bring argan oil into retail.
Right.
But it was just really starting to take off. It had gained a lot of traction in the professional, and it was just like the perfect time. And so we showed up first, and everyone was interested in this story and this oil.
Yeah. This is a marketing story. This is a case study, but this is also a career story. And you kind of hinted at it. You were a brand manager when you first
I
started
was.
looking at this, iconic brand in
Yes.
black culture.
Yes.
And you and Sean and Sadie.
Yes.
Shout
The
out to
whole
Sadie.
team, like the original. That's like the
Yes.
OG team.
That's the
The
OG
OG
team. And then
team.
Heather Woodard on my team.
Yes, Heather.
Yes.
I
Did
love
you work with
Heather.
Jermaine Williams at all? I can't remember.
Who'd you say?
Jermaine Williams. I don't know if you work with her, but she worked with us on some of the beauty brands for Proline and Alberta
Okay.
Culver before we started working with you guys.
Okay.
But we had a pretty scrappy team.
We did. We did.
Yeah.
But we got so much done. We got
Yeah.
so much done. And yeah, I mean, I was young. I want to say if it was 2010, I probably only been working in beauty 3 years because I
Yeah.
started with the company right after I got my MBA. I started with the company and came on board. So dream come true. It's
Well, let's
not
talk about
often
that
as a
because,
marketer
yeah, go
that
ahead.
you actually get to reinvent a brand.
Totally.
I mean, most of the time you're lucky if you get to work on an
Mm-hmm.
iconic brand. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's hard to do, but you work on the brand, you do renovations, you share the brand with the consumer, maybe you reposition it, but when you actually get to change a brand, like the
Yeah.
entire look and feel, I mean, what we did and what the team kind of put together, it was really gutsy. I mean, now, knowing what I know now at that time,
Yeah.
I mean, we were changing brand colors. I mean,
Everything.
huge
Ingredients.
ingredients, packaging was new. I
Yes.
mean, we were working with chemists and the things we take for granted now because you see them every day in the market. But I remember, a big conversation at that time was on the color of the shampoo
Yeah.
because we wanted to do this beautiful, rich, golden color shampoo.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at that time, all of the Cream of Nature shampoos were just kind of like white or
White,
cream.
maybe kind of a
So,
pearly white, maybe.
yeah, there
Mm-hmm.
was just so much about that launch. It's definitely got to be one of my favorite launches. The details that we were able to do were different. I mean, for the launch, I remember with the agency, we built a land of Morocco. That's what I'm
Yeah.
going to call it. But we were like, well, how are we going to bring this to life? I mean, we literally built a set. So shout out to Culture AD. They did
Yay.
that work, but we built a Moroccan themed set. I mean, we had a henna tattoo
Oh, I
artist there.
love that.
I mean, we went all in. Um, and I think that's kind of what paid off. We were just really into the brand, the concept. We believed in it. And we just brought it to life in an incredible way.
That's
And for me,
awesome.
it was the start. I mean, we started with like 4 or 5 SKUs. And then, after that, that led to me getting promoted. So the
Yeah.
success of that launch, that's how I got my promotion and was able to get to the next level as a marketing manager. And from there, once the company saw the success, I mean, we over delivered. We
Mm-hmm.
just blew the budgets out of the gate. That gave us the green light to start adding more SKUs. And I want to say, like 2 years later, that's when Perfect Edges came along. And
Yeah.
Perfect Edges was like
That
a
was one
game
of the
changer.
first. Yeah, it was one of the
It was.
first real edge controls that you could actually depend on. That really
Yes.
worked.
Yes, it was. I mean, we were probably second to market
Mm-hmm.
with edge controls, but we made an incredible edge control. And right away, the numbers just went through the roof. We quickly became the number one edge control. And I mean, that was 2012 when we've launched. We have
That
been
one
the
got an
number.
Essence Award too, I
Yes,
must
that
add.
one got an Essence Award. That one gets an award like every year because
Yes.
it is everyone's favorite edge control.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, still to this day, we're the number one edge
That's
control.
awesome. That's
You know,
awesome. So, Tania, let's go back because you started in the salon, right?
yes,
And then you
yes.
got your MBA. So, tell the story.
Oh my goodness. So let's see, how can we do it? So first of all, I'm a graduate of Florida A&M University. So shout out to my
All you
rattlers. So
rattlers out there.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I got my start. I showed up on Florida A&M's campus after having been a dancer for years. So I grew up dancing,
I didn't
classical
know
dance.
that, Tania.
Yeah,
This
and
is
I had to
news.
start with that because I always thought that I was going to be a dancer or I was going to be in entertainment. And that was kind of the track I was on from the time I was 3. And so I made like a quick pivot when I went to college and I switched to business. And that was like just by default. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I need something that's going to make me
Make
money.
some money.
And at the time, that MBA program, they were like, you're going to graduate from here, you're going to make 6 figures. And I said, sign me up.
Yes, there
Okay.
you go.
And so I show up on FAM's campus and I'm in the School of Business and Industry. And, everyone's chasing these corporate positions, these corporate jobs. We want to work on Wall Street. What can we do? And so I had a professor that really challenged me to put together a business plan for something that I might actually do in life. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
don't do what everyone else is doing. And so with that, I just came up with this idea. I was like, I want to do a business plan on a chain of salons. And so he
Wow.
gave me 2 student interns for the entire semester and just really pushed me to put this business plan together. And that is where I just started to fall in love with beauty.
Yeah.
And I finished the program, I got my credit for it, but I was like, you know what, I'm on to something here. And at the time, I actually thought that I was going to be an entrepreneur. And I
Uh-huh.
thought, let me go to school, I'll get my cosmetology license. When I graduate, I'm not going into that corporate world,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
thought process, I'll open up a salon. And obviously that didn't happen because I
Mm-hmm.
have been in corporate America for
Right.
12 years. So it's a really fun story, but it always makes me remember that you can pivot.
Yeah.
Like you have to make a decision and decide on a track, but it's okay to pivot because I would say that everything that I learned along the way has helped me to land where I
So
am
I was
today.
gonna say, don't you think that beauty
Everything.
experience and even the entrepreneurial spirit that you have?
Made all the difference. And even going back to the dance, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I never knew when I started out dancing, you're telling stories with
Yeah.
your body.
Right.
So that was really the start of me kind of honing these storytelling skills,
Mm-hmm.
even though, I didn't know. And I performed lots of places, went to an arts high school, so I had that in me. And then when I got to FAMU and I'm in business school, everything I learned about P&Ls, accounting, how to run a business, and then even the short stint of entrepreneurship, because for a while I worked in a salon. Like
Mm-hmm.
I actually worked in a salon as a commissioned stylist. I then went on to booth rent. I wanted to know what it was like firsthand. So by the time I decided to kind of marry business and beauty together and come into this corporate world,
Mm-hmm.
um, those were all assets. They really
Yeah.
kind of set me apart from the competition because early on in my career, and you'll remember, like, who tested the products?
Right.
Me.
Hello. Yes.
So I mean, up until what, like probably 2014, I tested the products.
Yeah.
I was in my office doing my marketing, working with my VP, working with you all. And then I was running to the salon, testing to make sure our products were correct. I tested all of our hair color, our
Yeah.
edge control until we brought in a team of stylists. So I think all of those experiences that I had, they really kind of worked together
Yeah.
to put me in position to excel, in my job because I knew the consumer intimately. I knew the products. I knew how they worked on the hair. So I think that helped.
That's awesome. And you know what? It's just so interesting. You are one of the most connected people in this industry.
Oh my goodness.
You really
That's good.
are.
I try to
You fly
be.
under the radar, but everybody knows Teneya Gholston.
Oh my goodness.
Because let me tell you, on my
Like, let me
Instagram
tell you.
alone, anybody that's connected to me in the beauty business, some
Yeah.
kind of way, all roads lead back to Teneya Gholston.
I mean, I love this industry. So
Yeah,
you
it's
you know
awesome.
me. I'm like always just trying to connect with people in the industry. And one thing about the beauty industry that it is a huge industry, but it is small.
It is
And
very
you know that
small.
all too well.
Yes.
People bounce around, from
Mm-hmm.
company to company, but we always stay connected.
Yeah.
I think we always are like competitive, but it's like a friendly competitiveness,
Totally.
and so
Yeah.
that's what I love about the industry. I mean, people that I worked with like years and years ago. So shout out to Anthony because we didn't mention
Yes.
Anthony.
Anthony
Anthony,
Standifer.
right?
We love
Okay.
him.
So Anthony's over at, well, he has his own company
Yes,
now
he
at
does.
MC, but to this day, we're all connected and, in contact with each other. And so that's one of the things I do love about the industry.
Yeah, it is awesome. And you know what? I just think of names like Pakila Riley. I
Yes,
think of
yes.
Melissa Hibbert,
Yes,
who's
we
working with
connected,
me
and now
now. I'm
you
so
and
excited about
Melissa are
that.
connected. So,
Girl,
yeah,
she beat my face to the gods.
girl.
And you know what? I don't even think you know this story. And I think I might have told it on another, I can't remember if I told it on another episode. But I contacted you because I needed makeup artists in about
I
three different
remember
cities.
that
You remember
part.
that?
Okay. Yes.
So one of the cities I was going to was actually Detroit. And you were
Okay.
meaning to give me Melissa Hibbert's name for LA, but you
Yes,
gave me Melissa Butler's name from the Lip Bar.
I did.
So
Okay.
I'm reaching out to Melissa talking about, can you do my makeup because Tania says you're good at it, and she writes me back with this bust out laughing emojis. And she's like, "Well, honey, I don't do that, but I'll give you somebody." So she
Right.
gives me to Lauren Butler, who did my
Okay.
face, but we did meet, and I'm like, "You're Lauren Butler from the Lip Bar." She's like, "Yeah," and it turned out she was at NABJ anyway. So we
What?
met. We
Okay.
met and we just became friends just off of that.
Oh my goodness. That's great. No, this industry, like we stay connected. It's like,
Uh-huh.
okay, who do you know in this city? And then after that, I'm like, okay, they're friends now. They're working together now. I mean, and you
Yes.
and Melissa have worked together since then.
Yes,
So it's come
absolutely.
full circle.
Totally, totally. So, career advice for anybody who is looking to break into beauty, things that you've
Yeah.
learned, things to watch out for, things that you just love.
I mean, I think we just kind of hit on some of it,
Mm-hmm.
which is the industry is amazing. So, it's truly a great industry. I think anytime you can work on something you're passionate about, it just makes it so much easier, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And I mean, just like we just talked about all of the good people, I mean, along the way that I've worked with, I mean, I've just worked with amazing, amazing people. And I've been so fortunate to just have amazing people help me. We mentioned like Sean Tollerson. So, you know,
Yeah.
just working with like amazing people. I mean, she was our VP, someone turned mentor that really kind of gave me my start in beauty and taught me, you know, everything along the way of how to run
Yeah.
brands. So I think that stands out for me that one, it is a great industry to be
Mm-hmm.
in, but you know, a lot of people want to now get behind the scenes and there's so many different jobs. So I'll
Yeah.
say that to start. A lot of times people will say, hey, I want to do what you do. You don't have to necessarily do what I do. You can do social media for beauty brands.
Mm-hmm.
You can work as a cosmetic chemist for beauty brands. I
Mm-hmm.
just spoke with a group of students and I was telling them, if you're good at science and math, like you can be a package engineer
Oh yeah.
and do the packaging for beauty. So I would start by just saying, do your research
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have to simply be a marketer. You can
Yeah.
be in public relations, like you,
Yeah.
Michelle. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you were able to be in communications and work with beauty. So that's one thing. Do your research and understand, you know, what channel you want to work in and intern.
Right.
I would say my number one advice to someone is intern, whether it's paid or unpaid, you know,
Right.
get some experience. Everyone wants to know, like, what's your experience? So when we're hiring, whether it's a new grad or for entry level positions, we're looking for some experience. So I just tell people, get an internship. You're going to learn so much about the business while you're on an internship. You know, not one of those faxing and calling people, or not
Yeah.
even
And getting
faxing now, but you
coffee
know what I
going
mean,
on.
just like
Right.
coffee and paper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get one where you can actually have a project that you can own.
Mm-hmm.
And learn something, and you'll get a chance to network. So that's the other thing. We just talked about networking and how you say, okay, everyone, you know, so many people in beauty. You have to have a good network
Right.
because your network, they're going to be the ones telling you about job openings, opportunities. I recommend people all of the time because I know
Totally.
someone and I
Mm-hmm.
always get calls. I mean, every week I get a call with someone saying, hey, do you know a brand manager here? Do you know an
Mm-hmm.
associate brand manager there? So during that internship, you can start to kind of create your network and make sure you meet a lot of people. Don't just meet the people that you work with. I
Right.
always suggest to people try to set up, you know, 30-minute meetings with other
Mm-hmm.
people that work in the organization so that you can get that FaceTime with them. That worked out really, really well for me early on in my career. I was able to set up quick 30-minute meetings with people. They got to know more about me. They understood where I wanted to go.
Right.
And they helped. You know, people will actually help. A lot of times they don't understand where you're trying to go. But if you're very clear on what your direction is, like a lot of times they'll say, hey, I know this person. You
Mm-hmm.
should call her or you should call him. So those are my quick tips and suggestions for getting a career in beauty,
That's
which,
wonderful. Well, you know, we started out talking about Cream of Nature. Cream of Nature has a new line now,
yeah,
and we're going to give away some products. But I want you to
yes,
tell me
yes.
what Cream of Nature is doing now with honey.
Okay, so in 2018, we launched a new collection called Cream of Nature Pure Honey. And that collection has been amazing,
Uh-huh.
amazing, amazing, amazing. Like we talked about so much about argan, and argan has really been the bread and butter of Cream of Nature for years. But honey is getting so much traction, so much love.
Hmm.
And the honey collection has amazing products that really focus on moisturizing dry and brittle hair.
That's
So
important, especially for naturals.
exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
so it has an amazing shampoo and conditioner in the line. We also have a knot away detangler in the line that I've gotten so many comments where people are like, this is one of the best detanglers that I've ever used. So we're
Wow.
definitely going to include that in the giveaway
Mm-hmm.
because it just helps shorten wash day. Because you know
Yeah.
wash day is long. So it's like, what
Oh.
can I do to
Yeah.
shorten wash day? How can
Mm-hmm.
I do that? And we have some great products. We have a breakup breakage leave-in conditioner. So I definitely want to do a giveaway with the line because I know it gets rave reviews, and so I think people will love it.
Awesome. So, how many sets are we going to do?
How many sets? Like how many people do you think? What do we
Well,
need to do?
4 or 5, maybe. What do you
I think
think?
so. Let's go five. Let's
Five,
do five.
five sets.
Yeah,
So, what
let's
do
do
they get in
five
the
sets.
set? What do they get in the set?
They're going to get shampoo, conditioner, they're going to get our mask, our detangler, and they're going to get our breakup breakage leave-in, and they're going to get our twisting cream.
Ooh, okay, y'all. So here's what you gotta do. Go to my website. There's gonna be a pop-up that shows up at theculturesoup.com. You gotta
Okay.
sign up and we're gonna select you randomly, okay? And we're gonna give away 5 of those and they're gonna come directly from Revlon. So you wanna go there today, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Do it fast. Sign up.
Awesome. You know what, Tania? It's been a pleasure having you on the Culture Soup
Oh,
podcast.
thank you. I couldn't wait to do it. This was like just, chatting and catching up and
Yes.
all the fun memories that we have working together. So this was perfect.
That's awesome. Any other way I can support you, you just let me know. Tania, you're a friend for life.
Yes, yes,
And I
yes.
wish you all success.
Oh no, same to you. You are killing it, Michelle. You are over here killing it. This woman is speaking. She is just getting you all together. So
Yes.
I can't wait to see everything that you are doing.
You
You're
just
just making such a big impact, in
thank
the
you.
lives of business owners and,
Yeah.
influencers. I mean,
Hmm.
everything that you're doing is amazing.
I appreciate that. I say as long as I'm helping folks, I can't do anything but win. So here
Yes,
we are.
yes.
Thank you so much, Tania.
Thanks, Michelle. This has been fun.
Yeah, it was great. Bye bye.